Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakah Wadash. And double honors to the apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth, and to include the elder bishops on down, and Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Barakatham, to all of the brothers within the household of faith, as we ought to be faithful in believing that we are going to be delivered and saved as the elect are predestined. And it's your brother Laban coming at you with another video. And in this video, I want to speak about some things that I've said before in this appropriate time that we're in with the war that's happening here and there. You know, it's getting hot each and every time we check out what's happening between Iran and America and the likes, and as well as Israel too. So yeah, without further ado, let me read this first and then we're gonna get into this video. As this reads, Iran may be trying to activate sleeper cells abroad. US intercepts message. So now let's play this video and we're gonna get into it.
Iran may be trying to activate sleeper cells outside the country. ABC News is reporting the U.S. just intercepted an encrypted message believed to have originated in Iran that may serve as an operational trigger for sleeper assets. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris joins us. You have been digging into this reported message, Jeff, and also how the U.S. plans to respond. What else are you learning?
So ABC News is reporting that the coded signal was sent after the death of Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei just about 10 days ago on February 28th. The message appearing to hold instructions for, quote, covert operatives or sleeper assets. ABC News reporting Monday, the U.S. has intercepted an encrypted message believed to have originated in Iran that may serve as a possible operational trigger to activate sleeper assets outside the country.
A country like Iran does not have the capability to beat us militarily, so they rely on asymmetric means. So they will look to use cyber attacks. They will look to use proxies like Hezbollah, criminal agents.
The U.S. warning said intelligence.
And we know that, come on, when we look at the news right now on the X, we can currently see that America's getting their ass handed to them. So there's no such thing as, oh yeah, well, their back's up against the wall as well as this guy's gonna say next. And they're struggling to overcome America. They've already overcame America. America ain't doing too well, and DJ Trump knows very well, and as well as the military that is in effect right now. All right, there's all kind of videos going out on the X everywhere. People are passing information. People in the military that's in that situation with Iran are passing information, and it's not looking too good. All right, so of course she's gonna say that because she was told to say that, just to keep the propaganda going, which is lies.
Had detected a broadcast station repeatedly transmitting a message to multiple countries outside Iran. The alert reading in part, quote, while the exact contents of these transmissions cannot currently be determined, the sudden appearance of a new station with international rebroadcast characteristics warrants heightened situational awareness. A former FBI special agent issuing a warning just last week that this may happen.
If ever there's going to have a Hezbollah cell or a Hamas cell act in the United States in a violent way, it's now, because their back's against the wall.
A sleeper cell.
And that's all I'm going to play right there. He said, well, they have their backs up against the wall. So if there's ever going to be a T attack, I'm just saying it my way, right? Then it's right now. And the reason why it's right now, because as well as I even said before, that, come on, just like the former prime minister of this country said years ago when he was alive and well during the Second World War. His name escapes me, but he said, never let a good crisis go to waste. So with a crisis, Esau can formulate another crisis to be an active. Right? To be an activation. That's what I meant to say. So lucky about that. So I mean, what's wrong with this particular point in time right now for another crisis? So as well as it's written, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, and we don't have to be. because the Lord has given us an unction that we know of all things. As this reads, Sirach 5 and verse 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. And you see, what this truth does, it keeps your eyes peeled, keeps you circumspect. It makes you to understand how Esau works. And when you really check it, Esau now becomes, in terms of his ways is concerned, it looks transparent. Esau looks transparent. You can see this devil for who he really is and what moves he pulls off next. And it's like, it's almost as if you're right all the time. You know, and it's not as if you are right all the time. You know, so this is the thing. This is why we have the greater advantage over these devils, because we know what these devils are going to do before they even do it. And again, just like the scripture says, if you believe on the words of the Lord, right? I'm roughly paraphrasing the scripture. It says, none of these things shall fail you, meaning the prophecies of the word of the Lord won't fail you. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord, and none of these shall fail. Something along those lines. Matter of fact, let me go and read that scripture, because I'm butchering it. I might as well just read it. Right, hold on, wait there. That's not the one. Oh, yeah. So I was quoting it correct. Isaiah 34, verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read, and no one of these shall fail, and none shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered him. Exactly. So the ills that Esau is coming with, it was already prescribed already. The Lord already put the instructions in their head on what they're going to do anyway. So it's to be expected. What we expect from this devil, you know. And speaking about 9/11 now we know that 9/11 was something of a crisis that, you know, they were behind, as well as we all know. 24 years later, now, of course, this September coming on the 11th will mark the 25th year since it's happened. And the reason behind that, yes, was to go in the east, places like Baghdad and Iraq. And, you know, a year and a half later, convince the public that Saddam Hussein have, you know, weapons of mass destruction, so that they can go down there and impound the country, these different areas. Okay. But originally too, what I should have said first was to do with the Patriot Act. And what was the Patriot Act all about? Surveillance. So to fast forward in the 2020s, I would say about maybe 2.5 years ago, I was watching the Economist News, and there was a man that spoke in the Senate, if my memory serves me correctly. I don't know the guy's name. And this was during a time when you had Biden in office, of course, the Biden administration overall, when you had the migration issue. You had, of course, people from Venezuela and the likes coming from the south border and entering into America and what have you. And this man was saying that it's a possibility that we could have a 9/11 like T attack that could be coming from the south and onwards. Something along those lines, he said. So if the Black Swan event, which is what we had, you know, in that time, brought surveillance by the Patriot Act, what would a greater deal of a 9/11 do? Now we're talking about a great deal of surveillance. A greater crisis like that would then pave the way for a greater deal of surveillance. So in that great deal of surveillance that they want, now you're going to get chipped. All right? That's what Esau is doing right now. And Esau ain't got no choice but to pull this off, because the longer they take with this thing is the more people are gonna wake up and figure out who they really are, as what's happening right now. You got a lot of people that's vouching for Iran in Israel. They're losing control of they've lost control of the narrative. Let me better yet say that instead. They've lost control over the narrative. So now no one wants to fight for the state in the East anymore. Because what people are seeing live and direct is the greater evil that's happening. And the greater evil is coming from that state. And people don't want to deal with that. So what is Esau going to do now? Esau's going to probably do something real dramatic to get people back on his side again. And that may very well be a Black Swan event. Like I've mentioned earlier before, when I was going live outside, and I'm going to be going live, Lord willing, tomorrow. Lord willing, we'll see what happens if I get there in due time, and then I can get it out early and leave early. So we'll have to wait and see, with that right there. So speaking about these crises, which could very well be the case, or a crisis, we got to keep our eyes peeled. More so now than ever before, because this is the opportune time for Esau to stage something real ridiculous. Okay? So let's get right into it, man. 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 1. But of the times and of the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. And I want to tie this in with what? Ecclesiastes 9 and verse 12. For man also knoweth not his time as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, and so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. See, with us, it won't fall upon us suddenly, because just as well as I've said, our eyes are peeled to what surrounds us. We're constantly on the news. We're constantly on the X, checking for things, man. Brothers are sending things and all that stuff, man. You know what I mean? So if you ain't checking out the news, brothers are. And if you're in Great Millstone, man, that really should be the main thing. That really should be an habitual thing that you do, is check out the news, man. You know what I'm saying? You're always, you could say, in a roundabout way, paranoid, but it's not really paranoia. It's being circumspect. Because there's things happening all the time. All right? Just like the elder apostle Tahar said, if you miss one day, you miss a lot. And it's very true. Like, you could check some news out, right, that went out maybe about 12 hours ago. That's some old shit. Because there's constant news going out frequently. So you gotta keep your mind aware to your circumference. Because at any given moment in time right now, there could very well be a crisis which could move us closer to the mandatory shipping stations, man, which are going to be set up. So now let's read this as well. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. And that's what we ought to do, as well as is written. Measure down the time diligently in itself. And what we're looking for is the prophetic signs and wonders and events, which is to show us that Yahushua is near to come upon the earth. As that's written, that what the eyes will visit the world which he made. All right. 2 Peter 3 and verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, and the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Right. So again, there's going to be an event after another event, and all of these events are going to lead to the third woe, literally, when we're going to see the missiles being shot from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth by these military powers, which is going to be, given by the prime ministers or your presidents, whatever you want to call it. Okay. They're going to give the edict or the command to go at war with one another. And Joel, the 3rd chapter, is going to be into fruition. And this society is going to go belly up in the flames, and everybody is going to lose miserably in this time, in this the time of the 3rd woe I'm talking about. All right. So this is the time that we're in. So in this time, under a crisis is being had right now, we can expect a crisis to hit sometime later within this year or maybe next year. We'll have to wait and see if this thing continues on. But I'm saying maybe in a matter of months. Now, on towards next year. All right. Like I said in the beginning of this year, right, when we did the New Year's Eve of destruction, and I said my guess estimate that will be out of here is 2027. And I'm sticking with that, but we could be out of here before that. We'll have to wait and see because we're still in the early stages of this year. So that's all I got to say with this. Giving all of the praise and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Quadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth, and to include the elder bishops on down, and saluting to all of you brothers out there of the household of this faith, of those that perform the word, especially of those that bring forth the word, and to those that watched and hearken unto the word all together, all right, which is the household of the elect to include, which would be faithful unto the Lord as that's written. Okay, so that's all I got to say. Shalom.